Hello, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to get into tech. My name is Anthony. I'm joined by Quinn. There are uh,
Hey,
there are three major ways to get into tech. I think they're all correct depending on your situation. You obviously have college, you have the boot camp, and then you have on-site learning plus achieving certificates. Quinn, which one do you want to start with?
uh, I would say let's start with achieving certificates because you know you got your three main ones that people want, which is security plus, network plus, and A plus. And I just feel like if anything, that's what you're gonna want to get, and it's gonna look good on a resume that you have already acquired that, especially if you did it on your own without help from anybody else.
Yeah, and if you're at a point where you could take a pay cut from your current job, go get a base help desk job for a year, get a certificate or two plus that experience, it'll put you in a really good spot, 12 to 24 months from now, better than you would be, doing other things. So that's definitely an option. I 100% agree. There's also certs for AWS, there's certs for data analysis, there's certs you want to be a developer, build a really good code base. So maybe not a certificate, but code base would be nice also.
Yeah, no, just knowing code in general. I mean, you have a coding cert like the Python, the PCAP. People are going
Yeah.
to look at that and go, "Wow, this guy's already got a common knowledge of that," and they're gonna look at you and, like I said, you get it on your own. People are going to look at you and be like, "Oh, wow, this guy actually puts in work by himself. He's not putting it in." Having somebody make him do it like through a school or anything.
Yeah, the need for the college degree is definitely going away. They are looking for the skills, the knowledge on hand. You can see that more and more and more as we get further in this world. It's being more accepted. So if you're that type of person where school's not an option, get a job very entry level and get some certs. And let's not forget applying for a job as a full time job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But there's good resources out there now if you have the extra cash. A good one is Teal. That's a good one. I've used it in the past uh, for my job search. That is definitely a good one. Also, ChatGPT, which is a free resource that you can use. And you just you take that job that you're going after and you put it into the chat, like the credentials that they want, and then you take your resume and you put it in there and ask ChatGPT to fix that resume for you. It's going to get it to where it can even get past the ATS, and you'll be good.
The
Make,
automated tracking software, whatever it's called now, looking for those
yeah,
keywords that are hidden. Yeah, you got to build your resume for the application. Put the skills they're looking for, highlight them, make them stand out. So
yeah, but don't lie. Don't lie on your resume.
you will get called out on it. I promise they'll want the truth more than anything else. But it's totally fine to look at the tools they use and do some research on them before your interview. Having a base knowledge would never hurt, but don't say you're an expert.
Yeah, never go in there saying you're an expert. And also, when you're starting out, don't expect six six figures. Don't expect. I mean, you see all on TV shows and you see on LinkedIn and you see all these people that are just, oh, I did this and I got into tech and now I'm making this much money. That doesn't happen. There's no way that's going to happen. You can't do that at all. You're going to start out with an entry level position, most likely help desk. And really, the help desk position is the best because you're going to go through there and that's where you're really going to learn what you like. Um,
Yeah, and if
so,
you're transitioning to tech in a second career, don't look at the 1 year plan. Look at the 3 year, the 5 year plan. The money is definitely in tech. You just got to put in the work to get there. And that being said, obviously where you live, you may make more or less. We're both in the Midwest. It's a little cheaper to live here, so
yeah. Um, Yeah, you do need to take all of that in. But I will say, just from my standpoint, I live real deep south, Alabama. Not very techy down here, so all I have really are help desk positions. So you're not really, you're gonna have to either embrace moving to a bigger area for the job type career you want, or you're just gonna have to, at the end of the day, find something remote, which that's definitely not gonna happen either with how the times are.
Yeah, if you
So
want to go remote, you might as well look at software development or software testing or data analysis. Most security stuff, cybersecurity is the hot new thing, is not going to be remote. And then also those super high demand jobs are going away from remote because they have too many applications.
well, I mean, it's hard for an employer to go trust, you know, the new guy to be remote and actually know he's working. So I feel like that's another reason it's going away also.
Yep, and hybrid's obviously a thing. Always look for hybrid options that allow you to work from home on days you life takes over and you can't go in. Um, let's transition about when you think it's a good to go to college. In my opinion, college is a good option for people in a specific situation. You're fresh out of high school and you got some scholarships, some loans, a college savings account your parents set up for you. Please go to college if you think you're going to succeed. It is going to help fast track your career. But one caveat I'm going to say is do not get a degree in video game design. It is the fastest growing degree and the least hiring position. Feel free to get a job in software development or general IT with a minor in that and do that as a side hobby. But yeah, if you have good age to go to college, a scholarship, anything to make it be paid for, it's definitely the right option. Um, but if you want to commit 4 years of your life or more, depending how long you go, that's a good option to go to. And don't go to the stupid technical schools like Full Sail that specialize in these things. Just go get a general program degree at your local state college, wherever you live. What are your thoughts, Quinn?
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually in college right now. Um, we could talk about that, but yeah, I would say for sure if you have the funds to go and the means to go and just yeah, pretty much those two. Um, I would say it's a good option. I won't say it's a good option if you're having to pull $50,000 out for a student loan for your whole college career because you'll
No,
still be
there's
off your first job. But
yeah, it's definitely not required to get into tech. But if you're
no,
an 18-year-old kid and you got 2 years free of community college or a scholarship, jump onto it. Get a a general IT degree, get a programming degree, get a cybersecurity degree. It'll definitely help, but obviously not required.
yeah, people are going to see that degree and they're going to go, oh, he already has a common knowledge. I will also say about college, don't go through that using Chat GPT in any of your studies. You need to get comprehensive, even only self study. Chat
And
GPT is a tool. AIs are tools. Don't use those to get through those courses. Um, use use your brain and ask your professors and ask what's going on and everything. And I'm sure all of them are going to be willing to help you.
yeah, and physical practice, if it's using physical tools or coding or anything like that, that's going to make a huge difference too. Knowing the knowledge is only half part of it. Knowing how to use all the tools that are provided, like Wireshark or VS Code or Hydra or any of these tools, depending whatever career you go into, will help a lot also.
Yeah. Um, yeah, for sure. I think college is a good avenue to go down. Once again, if you have those funds.
And that brings us to our third option, the boot camp, which is, I think, is good for people that don't have a great understanding of what they want to do. Definitely need some more instructor guidance. Probably the get some certs, get some experience isn't the right option because you're not quite the skill you need to be to start getting those. There are a lot of choices for boot camps. please get one that is teacher driven if cost dependent. That small classrooms, that is totally up to you. They're all over. There are loans and grants for those also. There's also online boot camps that are completely recorded that are dramatically cheaper that come with certification also. So that's stuff to look at. Boot camps are not the end of the world. There are ones that also you only have to pay when you get a job. They're far and few in between, but they're still out there. So do your research and don't jump into a boot camp without doing your research the job you're going to get when you finish it. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there now is they're promised these jobs that aren't truly reachable with what the experience they're gaining, but they will be eventually.
Yeah. I do think boot camps are a good option. Very, very good option. It gives you that base knowledge. Don't go in there thinking, "Oh, I'm about to get out of here and once again making six figures." It's just that's not the right mindset. If you're getting into tech for the money, that's not the right mindset to go about at all.
We'll go for
You
tech
actually,
sales and be a shriveled. Just go for tech sales and not care about anybody else. There's a lot of money to be made there.
oh man, off topic. So I went golfing Saturday. Um, the car girl comes up to us. Had the worst spray tan I've ever seen in my life. Um, and she said, I asked her, oh, she went to Auburn. I said, oh, what'd you do at Auburn? She said, I went for software engineering because I like to shop and I needed something that gives me a lot of money. I was like, all right. And then I asked her what languages she knew. She said she knew Java, Python, all that good stuff. And then I was like, oh, so you like sitting behind a computer? She said, no, I want to be in software sales. And I was like, why didn't you just go for business at that point? It, it baffled me that, that I just couldn't understand it. But yeah, boot camps are great. Sorry for the side note. Uh, she she was a character, but yeah, boot camps are great. But like I said, you're getting the base knowledge. And don't go to the boot camps thinking, oh, I'm going to learn everything I need for the A plus cert or the security plus cert. The thing with boot camps is you're going to get out what you put in. So if you put in 5 hours a day on your own studying, I know people have work and stuff. So if you spend, an extra 5 hours a week, an extra 6 hours a week, you're going to get more out of it than you will just expecting to go into that class and get taught everything. Because another misconception with boot camps, though, is they think they're going to come in here into boot camps and they're going to be just shown and babied everything. No, a boot camp is still like a college course where you don't just get the answers. You're going to go and you're going to be tested and you're going to have to Google because even in jobs, IT jobs, you're always having to Google and find a resolution to a job.
Yeah,
But
all of IT is troubleshooting, figuring out what's wrong, how to fix it. That's basically everything: coding, testing, cybersecurity. It's all troubleshooting. It's all figuring out. All right, what went wrong? How do I fix it? How do I do this? And usually, there's more than one right option. There's a lot of different ways to do different things. So even if you find one, maybe explore others to just grow that knowledge of other ways to do things. And yeah, boot camp is a grind of they're usually between 3 and 6 months where they're going to cram a bunch of info at you and then give you a certificate of completion and help you prepare you for the next steps if that's building a coding rebase or help prepare for a cert and then send you on the way. Um, it's definitely an option for people that need that jumping off point, that starting point. But like I said, I think me and Quinn both agree that if you have a good knowledge of computers and you enjoy it, just start getting those certs on your own. You get a security plus cert, you work a basic job for a little bit, or you build a nice coding rebase on GitHub or another on cloud coding base, then you can go get the job you want. I was like I said, it's going to be an entry level job. It might be a pay down depending what you're doing now, but eventually the money is in tech and you will get there.
yeah, I mean, honestly, we're heading. We're about to be living like in the Matrix if we keep going the way we are. Honestly, about to be hung up by some robots because yeah, everything's becoming techy. Look at Teslas. Look at
Yep.
your car. Everything. Everything.
Everything is running by some computer program, some operation, some script, and everything can be hacked now. More things to be hacked means more security. More things that run on tech means more developers. More developers means more testers. You know, just everything's going to be growing in the tech world, even with AI. So I would not worry about that. It's a great time to get in. It's just finding the correct path for you and putting in the work. It's applying, that's learning, that's taking certs. Obviously, there's a bunch of CompTIA certs. There's a bunch of AWS certs. Google has certs. Microsoft has certs. Tons of certifications out there. Look at the jobs in your area that you want to work for. See what certs they're asking for. Those are the ones I would go after. That's what I tell people. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Completely agree. Completely. Feel like but I mean, once again, I feel like everybody gets into tech just thinking, oh, I'm about to start off working remote, making six figures or really good money. It's just not the case. I don't want anybody's expectations to be super high. You do have that one off chance that somebody is just high speed, know more than what you think they should know. But I guarantee you that person put in extra work, built up their GitHub, built up a good resume, a good knowledge. So
yeah. And
that's
once you start talking about senior level positions, remote is definitely more of an option. That's definitely what I've seen when I'm looking at applications. It's just those entry level ones are a little bit hard to get. But to get to senior level is going to take you 2 years if you grind, 5 if you're just kind of hanging in there. But it's definitely a good step in the right direction for people.
yep. Yep. Grind it out. You got to grind. Me and Anthony are both working in tech right now, both different parts of our careers. I'm still getting into it. I work a help desk job right now, um, and that's just because I know that's where to start.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, still actually trying to figure out what I want to do. And I, I know people that have been in tech for so long, 5 years, and they've been doing one thing, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to switch it up and start doing cloud stuff because cloud's a big thing." But yeah, I would say you got to find a starting point. You got to.
Yep. And I joined tech from the restaurant management world, which is totally different, but I use those skills in restaurant management to help propel my career to get into more of a software test engineer management role. I'm a software test engineer by job. I manage a team of about 3 people now that work under me. So don't be afraid that those outside skills you learned from previous jobs will transition. It just might not be the exact way you expected, but there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of leadership and documentation in tech. That's the one thing that'll help you stand out once you do get a job is being very good at documenting things because it's never documented enough, no matter how much you do. And I say that and had that said to me many times.
Yeah, I've had the same thing. Everything in tech you're documenting. If you're planning on getting into cybersecurity, you're going to be looking at a bunch of logs, which is documentation built from the computer or the firewall or the system. Um, yeah, but I'll say those three are your best choices. If I had to put them in order, I would go certs, boot camp. I mean that part kind of depends on your situation. I would say boot camp and then college. Once again, that kind of depends on your situation though. But
Yeah.
obviously, say start with the certs.
Yeah. As a male in my mid 30s now, I would definitely start with certs. But if I go back to, senior year of high school, I would have went to college for IT. Um, maybe worked, maybe not. Maybe I failed out because I didn't try hard enough at that age. But definitely now I have a good knowledge of computers before I took the boot camp I did. I know I could have got the certs on my own. I could have built it up. It did help point me in the right direction, so I'm not arguing about it. I did get some growth out of it, but it was a commitment, and I worked every day. Came home, did the class, spent 2 hours after class studying, learning more, and definitely helped me propel above everybody in my class and excel in the batch of new hires of all this extra knowledge I had. So never enough work. Put in as much effort as you can, learn as much as you can. You will not master any of these tools. There's so all these tech things are so advanced and can do so many things that I learn new things every day in Excel or Wireshark or whatever tool I'm using that day.
Yeah, you're continuously learning, and you're never gonna know anything. Just last night, me and Anthony were playing around with the code, and he didn't know about the round function, which is a function that, or replace, I'm sorry, which is a function that replaces a certain letter or number in a different phrase, um, just to kind of like sum it up in layman's terms. But he didn't know about it, so it's that, like he said, you're always learning. We're always learning. I'm
It's
sure you're still,
always evolving, always more and more and more. Um,
yeah.
there's
Like right
something-
now, the big thing is cloud computing. I see like in the next 2 years, 3 years, AI is going to be really, really big, really big. They got a lot of college courses, a lot of boot camps. They just have courses on YouTube about AI learning and how to use it. So
yeah,
that'll be a huge one.
and I know
If you're,
AWS streams on Twitch with learning sessions every once in a while too that you can find on their website. So AWS is a good resource for anything cloud. Microsoft Azure, that's most of the cloud. There's a few more, but you probably would rarely see those unless you worked at one of those specific places like Google.
yeah, I actually made me and somebody made a gaming cloud computer today. It was super cool. I
Yeah,
didn't think it could be done, but it was done. And
yeah.
then,
Unlimited resources, scalable to whatever you need whenever you need it. I mean, that's the key.
yeah, but you say that's the key, and then somebody goes and, oh, I'm gonna put 120 gigabyte of RAM. I'm gonna put the i9 15th gen in there, and the best GPU I've ever seen, and they get the first bill that month, and it's like $1,000. They're like, oh, whoa, whoa,
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
yeah,
Let's leave it at that.
you gotta be careful with that one. Yeah, guys, definitely, definitely look into all that stuff. You gotta, and there's tons of free resources. I gotta,
A lot of the free training will give you a certificate of completion also, which will also help boost your resume up, show you know the skill by some of these sites out there. And then always look on like your Udemy's or your Coursera's for stuff also.
yeah. And for those that don't know, Coursera is a learning website, and Udemy is another strictly tech learning website. You Coursera is more of like you can find anything on there, but they do have good. They have IBM courses, um, but you do have to pay for some of them. But if you go to Udemy and you look, they got courses. One day it'll be $60, and you'll get on there the next day, or sign up for the emails for sure, and that course will be $5. So
Yeah, Udemy runs crazy sales like 90% off, 90% off for Memorial Day, and just got to kind of keep checking back so you find a good price. I don't think I bought anything that was less than 80% off on there.
I actually got the subscription whenever it was a half price. So
And
I
you get
got that,
everything.
yeah, for the year. Um, which I love it. Another thing is on YouTube. I don't know if we can do this, but I'm gonna endorse Network Chuck. He is a he's a very good asset to have, and
Yes.
he also came out with his own learning website. that y'all could check out. But that guy, he will teach you everything you need. He'll go into how to get into tech, what certs to get, for people that are just trying to figure it out. Also, he's a very good. Um,
Yeah, you can't miss him. He's got a couple million subscribers, I think now. So check him out. He does a lot of pen testing, how to get into text and coding, just all kinds of stuff. Videos on everything. Very good, very well made videos. Definitely uses his resource, watches videos just so I can learn new things or just brush up on knowledge I already know.
yeah, I use him a lot too, just trying to figure out what I want to do here and there sometimes. Because, like I said, your mind's going to change between, oh, I want to be a cybersecurity person, and next week you're going to be like, oh, I enjoy coding. I want to be a software engineer. It's going to change probably 6 times before you actually land that first job.
And there are some jobs that overlap and do both. So they're not entry level, but they are there. You know, DevOps engineers code and do security. It's definitely not an entry level job, but it is out there if that's something you are interested in.
Yeah, yeah. But for the most part, it's about finding what you're interested in. Uh, you definitely need to do your research, a lot of research before. For instance, if you're going to go into a boot camp, you need to know which boot camp you're going to go into, because you don't want to sign up for a cybersecurity. Then you start learning how to code, and you enjoy coding a little bit more than you do cybersecurity. So you need to do a lot of research on all this stuff.
Yeah, find some free training on the internet of all these different topics. Figure out what you want best and pick from there. There's all kinds of free training. Google's a great resource to find it. Some stuff's free, some stuff's paid for, but you can find a base training for free of everything in tech. And it's pretty well made since the people in tech make it are people in tech. So it's just a little better than other free training for other things. But that's about all I got.
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Thanks for watching. I hope we helped you guys. Please subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment if you want to hear us talk about a specific topic. Thanks a lot, guys.